All right, let's start with yesterday's trades, current positions, the watch list for today, and some of the notable breakouts yesterday. So let's start with this account here. So CL left into anything. Wix I sold tiny. It went up a little bit. Nettist into anything. CNBX. I'm gonna talk about this one soon. Goal was that was wow. This one was good. This one was really good. Risk reward wise, it was an epic trade. Now the problem is I only did half size, so this thing could have been a 5-figure trade, but I just never sized in. I shorted some here at the opening range lows. Now I should have added to it. I only did 1,500 small shares. I should have doubled up on it. And then I basically covered on the way down. Now I did not think it would go red on a day. I did not see that one coming. But that's nice. So I'm still swinging some. I think it can go down another $1.50 in the next few days. Yeah, very good trade. My risk on it was basically like 20 cents or so. Let's see what's my average. 57 average, and my risk was what? Something like 80. I mean, let's just say 30 cents. And I made $4 on it. Like, I'm already up 13 times my initial risk on it. 13 times intraday. Now that's how trading should be. Kala didn't do anything. Pola didn't do anything. Pixelworks didn't do anything. OCLR pulled back into the range, otherwise not much. CTRL didn't do anything. CNAP, you know, the OTC Mariana stocks are the leading sector right now. They're making the biggest moves. I bought it 160. I have a little bit less than a half left, about 40% of my position. So nice 50% move so far since my entry. VRX, I covered it. I gave it plenty of time. I was really hoping for this thing to pull back to mid-15s, but I just grew impatient. And also partially because I have so many positions, I just wanted to lock in some. Now, okay, so CNBX, this is... now the mistake I did on it was that I did not box it. I was partially boxed. As you remember from Friday, I had 6,500 shares boxed overnight, and I had 15,000 short in this account. So I was net short. I was about 40% boxed. And my mistake is I didn't box it all on the opening range highs. That was my mistake. That cost me some money. I tried to... I did partially unbox it 3-4 times during the day, but it just never cracked, so I never fully unboxed it, and I reboxed it at every single time. Yeah, I think today is gonna be the last day that it goes up. If it's gonna go up, today will be the last day. It can very easily go to $8 or $9. Anything is possible. Like, I mean, who knew it was gonna go? On Friday, I didn't expect this thing to go up 65% intraday. It's an amazing move. Why can't it go up another $2-3? Very easily could do that. But then it's really in the last innings. This thing has 100,000 in revenue. It's valued at like 700 million. Why can't I go public and be valued at 700 million? I'm making more money than these guys are. I'm making more money in a month than these guys are in a year, so I'm not valued at 700 million. Let's see, ICH short didn't do anything. Just going sideways. Like, I actually set an alert on it. I really like this one, fundamental. Takes out this 17, mid-high 17, so I'm gonna add a couple of thousand shares. I still think this thing very easily go to low mid 20s, very easily. Tesla, I did cover my last third. It was a very, very good trade from pretty much $2 from the highs here, and obviously I did give back some money on the last third. So URA went down more. I covered some. Also, I had it pretty much at the highs. Very tight stop, and I'm up like 10 times my initial risk on it. Labu didn't do anything. ATNM, I tried to buy it for a swing long near the open. I saw some volume, just pulled back into the range, didn't do anything. Stopped me out, basically. Where was I? ESPR, I have some short overnight. A little bit of an extended biotech. I'm willing to add some today on pops or opening range lows or something. I think it can very easily fade back to low 22s or something. MKSI, tried to buy the breakout. Very fast growing stock, had earnings a couple of weeks ago. It just didn't have the juice I want to see on breakout, so I just took a small loss on it. I kind of chased it a little bit. I bought it at mid 68s. I should have really bought it low 68. So it was a little bit of a chase. ACBFF, I did not hold this one overnight. Another OTC Mariana stock. I would have preferred to see more strength, but it never really took out the highs of the day or the opening range highs. So I just closed the position. Plug, I did not hold it overnight. I like the bottom kind of a pattern. Higher lows, had a range break. They have earnings in a couple of days. I may buy it on dips. If it dips back to 114s, 113s, I may buy it, use like 110 as my stop. And see if they can run it into earnings. Now GBT is annoying. I was short this one. It kind of closed. It had a little bit of a green candle here into the close where I got stopped out. And otherwise, I would have held it overnight also together with the ESPR. But it didn't. It shook me out, and then they announced an offering after hours. Just classic. SPLK got out break even. So they had an analyst upgrade. I knew about it pre-market, but for some reason I didn't really focus on it. I could have very easily bought it around $9 near the open and used a tight stop. Instead, I got in on dips. I got in here, 933. I got filled on a quarter of my shares, and then it started fading back into the close, and I just took break even on it. But it looks good. Could very easily go to 11. IG was nice, so I bought it. Let's look at the 5-minute chart. So I basically bought I bought a bunch of shares here, 251, because it had a big pop, pulled back intraday, pulled back to support, started building higher lows, consolidated below VWAP, so I just anticipated a potential run on it. Bought to 250, 251. Immediately, it just went straight up, and I added here 288. Sold on the way up. I rebought some here on the dips. Now this is I really hope for a weak open and then a opening range highs and or red to green for an ad. With this volume, it traded 3 times its float, or a little bit more than 3 times its float. It could very easily go to 455. So I'm really praying for a weak open. So that was that. Oh yes, a game plan for CNBX. So this is probably gonna be my main watch. I did not have any locates yesterday. I haven't had any locates on it since midday on Friday, so I don't have high hopes for this one. I just hope I can get out at around break even on my unboxed shares. So basically what I'm looking for is some kind of opening range lows or green to red, or some kind of weakness when it starts, starting to see when it starts showing some failed, like let's see, it goes down a little bit, bounces, and then takes out those retracement lows. That would also be a short, which it never really did something like that yesterday. It just retraced, bounced right back up, retraced, bounced right back up, retraced, bounced right back up. What I want to see is like a retracement, bounce, and then a fail. That would be a short. Just to give you an example of what I'm looking for. And plan B, again, I probably won't have any shares. Plan B would be OWCP. I think if the CNBX pulls back, the rest of them are gonna follow. So OWCP, I hope it goes like 350 first. But this is also I'm basically looking for the same thing. So opening range lows, green to red, some kind of a failed bounce. MNTR is plan C. So these ones I had borrows on yesterday. So hopefully I will have today also, in case I don't have CNBX borrows. So INSY, kicking myself on this one. I was watching this when it was here. Short interest was super high, one of the most shorted biotechs out there. Biotechs were strong, and this was just a textbook kind of a trade, and I just passed on it. Now I am looking for maybe a 14 push. If it gaps up and pushes or something, like near the open, 14 plus near the open could give a nice fade spot on a good setup. CSIQ, $17 area near the open would be nice for a quick retracement. This one, yeah, same thing. This Solaris are all going, and basically looking for a similar thing here. CIG starting to look a little bit like GOL, just going higher and higher. Like a big gap up or something would be nice for a potential fade. Big gap up and then opening range lows or something like that could be nice. Ideally it goes, I don't know if I'm gonna do it today, even if it's very strong. Ideally it goes to 4 plus tomorrow or something. HIMX 8 plus would be interesting. AMD just keeps going higher. I hope it goes to 16, 18 plus or something next week or two. There will be some good trades on it going forward. Tesla, I'm gonna talk about this one more tomorrow because I'm not really going to trade it today, but tomorrow I will have a game plan for it since they have earnings. Again, this one I talked about. So long watch list. So all the shippers were strong. I'm gonna talk more about them. I already talked about the SPLK that I did buy. Did not hold it overnight though. I don't know. I may buy it over $8 and use like a 755 stop or something on it. Could very easily go to 910. This one is starting to shape up. A couple of narrow range days would be ideal. Now UVXY, like the indices are steaming higher, and I do have a 1 foot out of the door, like I've been saying for a few days now. We're very vulnerable to a pullback here. This is really not not a time to go aggressive long, in my opinion. Even though the market can keep going, like Nasdaq could easily go to 6,000 before any pullback at all, or even 6,100. Doesn't have to pull back. This is the kind of a pattern that can really start speeding up. Just kill shorts. You know, people have been accustomed to mean reversion for the past 2.5 years, and now it just keeps going up, and people are, oh, it's going up. Never seen this before. So just a momentum market. This is what momentum looks like, and it can keep going. And also can reverse at any time. Let's see, where was I? GSAT looks good. This one looks really good. A Fitbit doesn't look great yet, but if it has a breakout candle, this is the kind of stock that can rally. A lot of these bottom beaten down names have rallied lately. This one doesn't have any volume. It's basically untradeable for me, I think. Probably gonna set an alert on it. This one had some PR. Over low 9s could be good. I think it's another Mariana stock. Looks good, but the fact that it hasn't gone in this kind of a market with all the other ones running, that's a red flag. Weight Watchers, you know, that's been building higher lows for a couple of months. You know, one of these days it could go. This one looks great. Higher lows, just flagging, tight candle. Looks really good. Starting to set up, has great earnings. Absolutely great earnings. Facebook is getting tighter. Reminds me of Tesla a couple of weeks back, where it just went in sideways in a super tight range for multiple days, and then it just had a big run. Big run. You know, this is a scenario you get a risk like $2 to make 30. And Facebook could be similar. You know, takes out this 134 area. You can risk like $1 or something. It can very easily go up $10-15, or $5-10 at least. I'm not gonna trade it because it's just too slow. The ADR is 1.3%. It's just way too slow for me. This one is holding up. Looks decent. This one is another bottom biotech related. Quite high short interest. Could go. Another bio related name. Well, anyways, there's just a bunch of names. Another wheat stock, I think. Looks good, but just the fact that it hasn't gone, it's a red flag. This one looks great, and this one, it's holding up. Looks decent. So IG I talked about. This one had great earnings. I may buy it if it takes out this 910 area. Hopefully it goes sideways for a week or two before that. But I'm willing to buy it right, you know, today if it takes out this area. Could be very easy to go to 10, 11, 12. Plug I talked about, ATM. Probably needs to go sideways for a few days to set up again. This one I'm just gonna set an alert, building higher lows. This is exactly the kind of sector and chart that's working right now. This one had some news. I haven't really looked up what the news are, but I may trade it similar to IG today. Oh, yesterday. This one is pretty much a high tide flag. Breaks this 26 area. I may buy it. Had some data, and these things can go. Right market for it. Gonna set an alert on it. It looks good. It's just pulled back off a huge run, going sideways. That could very easily have one more leg higher. Gonna set an alert on this one. This one is starting to look good. If it can go sideways a few more days, this 140, low mid 140s could be nice for an entry. NAK, It's now down about 53% from the highs. I think this thing could sell off another 40, 50, 60 cents today. There may be a long entry on it for mean reversion trade. Let's say if it gets to this low ones today, it could very easily bounce back like 30, 40, 50% over the next few sessions. So this is, this one I'm gonna watch closely. Let's see. So there were a lot of breakouts yesterday, a lot of them. Some I wish I had bought. The GNC tried a little bit of a breakout from the through this 20-day moving average, had great volume, and another beaten down, relatively highly shorted stock, almost 6 days to cover, and next target could be 50-day moving average. So this one doesn't really look that good. Had great volume. Oil sector overall showed some strength yesterday. This one had... okay, they're just gonna be included in S&P Small Cap 600. Sometimes these things have followed through, but most of the time not. Actually, it's gapping. Actually, was over 13 in after hours, so maybe there was some news on it. This is a Nasdaq, or actually an Amex Mariana play, so that's why it's going. The whole group is very strong. Recent IPO I didn't see this one. I don't know why I didn't see it during the day. I saw it now when I did my scans, but it looks good. Another cannabis name. Looks good. Could very easily go to 120 or something, or higher. Had some just mediocre earnings, but really high short interest, 70 days to cover, and this thing can rally. It's very beaten down over the last couple of years, and expectations are low, so anything that's not disastrous news for this thing could be good. Decent breakout. Another oil-related name. Had some earnings. Just a flag break. Another flag break. Had another flag break of earnings. This one had a secondary, recent IPO. Looks decent. Another flag break on earnings. Like a lot of flag breaks on earnings yesterday. Question is if they will have any follow through. This one had some great earnings a couple of weeks back. So who had some earnings? Another flag break. Close kind of weak, but yeah. So this one I talked about. AMAT had great earnings a couple of days back. Very slow moving stock. ADR is 183, but looks really good. Next stop could be 38, 39, 40. This one I talked about. No, this one I cannot figure out. They have decelerating, or they actually shrinking EPS and revenues, and they have had horrible guidance for the next quarter, and the stock was up. It's one of those that are just very tricky. Maybe they said something on a conference call, but maybe there is some good news coming, or maybe they guided big for the next quarters after the next quarter. I don't know, or maybe they have a big product coming out or something like that. I don't know, but it's kind of weird seeing a rally of these kinds of numbers. This thing should have been down 20% or 15%. Chemical stock all the chemical stocks were very strong, mainly due to TROX earnings. This one I talked about. This one tried to break out a little bit. I had it on my watch yesterday, but doesn't look that good. Another recent IPO. Now this one, a lot of people are very bullish on this biotech name. They have data coming up. I think next quarter. I have to double check that, but just looks good. Now it gapped up because of a Barron's mention during the weekend, and it just looks really good. Could have a big run up into data. Now IPI had a secondary breakout. I missed it on this day here. I may buy it on the dips. You know what? I'm gonna try to get in on dips. High mid 230s would be nice. X had a little bit of breakout from this tiny high tight flag or whatever you want to call it. These kinds of breakouts sometimes they can have insane follow through. Like this thing could go to 50, or they just fail outright. So it's kind of a gamble. Now this one I really wanted to buy in the 1020s, 1030s, but there was just no volume on it. It had traded like 10, 20,000 shares when I wanted to buy it, and just no volume at all. And next target for it is like 13. Recent IPO didn't have any volume, but looks decent. Another beaten down medical related stock. China name. An upgrade. Another beaten down name. High short interest. That's some earnings. This one, I was thinking about buying it, but then I saw the earnings are in a couple of days. I passed on it. Another shipper name. Very thin. Beaten down. Could easily go to 758. And they had earnings. Most of it they guided about a month back. So I don't know. I'm not sure it's going to have a lot of follow through. It could. This one I talked about. Had a breakout of a tight kind of a channel. Like these kinds can go. Looks like it did here. Similar pattern. Just went grinded higher, was in a tight channel, and then it had a breakout and, went up another 20%. Why can't this thing go to 550 or something? You can very easily do that. This one looks like an ugly candle, but I really think it was a buying opportunity for a longer term traders or investors. Trox had some I'm not excited about the earnings, but they had a bunch of good news. They had a big acquisition, and that's going to be very accretive, and this thing could go big. Other chemical stock, a lot of bearishness on this one, just keeps going higher and higher. Very easy to go to 40 in this market. SPLK talk about this one, and another breakout, a little bit extended, but looks decent. Another wheat stock, OTC. I was thinking about buying it, but I was already in ACBFF and and CNAB and short CNBX, and I just didn't want to have any more Mariana exposure. Yeah, anyways, I'm getting tired. So these were the